Board games. I might be talking about board games. I'm playtesting, but I'm not gonna shout. Today, I guess I'll be doing some spreadsheeting and calculating, and I will be quickly talking about how this can be better than just playtesting. But of course, you do need both. But sometimes maths is better, and that's a quote. So I guess I will show the things that hopefully I kind of know, but I'm still learning. And maybe you can too. I will show you the things that I do. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It is time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether. And today the topic is sometimes theory can tell you more than playtesting, but you do need both. So fundamentally, when you're playtesting, that tells you all about the emotional aspect of the game. So that tells you, does this game engage people? Does this game excite people? And that's a key thing. Like, if you get this, does that feel like a success? Does this resonate? Is this fun? I mean, you can use your supposition, you can use your theory crafting, but whether something is fun or not, whether something is engaging, that's something that you need to put in front of people. But when it gets to, is this possible? How easy is this? Well, sure, it's good. You need some playtesting, but I would maintain that when it comes to the question of, hey, here's a whole bunch of cards and they're all getting some numbers, and you can see what I had here, and so should this be a 1 or a 2 or whatever? Well, that's something, and I'll just undo that. But like that's something that's better expressed via pondering, via maths, via spreadsheeting. And Kitty Cataclysm, even though after publication, it's like, yes, actually, one of the cards, the numbers should have been tweaked down by 1 because it was slightly overpowered, and the card counts of certain things should have been tweaked. But fundamentally, the reason that Kitty Cataclysm works as well as it does is because I calculated how many cards each card on average gives you, makes sure that you actually go through the deck typically. And if you are wanting to make someone run out of cards, it is an aggressive thing that generally you are drawing more than you play, so you do get an expanding number of choices. These are the mathematical things that it's important to understand mathematically. Anyway, that's my introduction to the topic. That may be enough for you, but I will crack back after I've had a quick chat about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. What are some of the recent highlights? Well, let me show you. I watched some people play this game, which is Fish or Car. What do you think this looks more like? A fish or a car? I know what I think, but I would be interested to hear your opinion. This was me showing a couple of people my game. Yesterday, after I did my show, I, as mentioned, met up with a few people in the park. It was a lovely day. We had a bit of a picnic. I had my peas and my peanuts, and there was chocolate and oatcakes, and then we went off to, some people wanted to go to the shop nearby to get something because most people hadn't brought stuff. But while we were waiting for the first 2 people to arrive, I said, hey, would you like to try my 2-player game? One person was trying to make this into a car. One person was trying to make this into a fish. There's a lot more purple and yellow than I normally see. Maybe that's the lack of my influence. Then we played a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises, which people had fun with. We were playing in the dirt. My cards got quite dirty, but that's totally fine. I would rather play my games and get them dirty, especially if it's something that I designed myself, and I've got backup copies of it, of course. We played a couple of improvisational games, one-word stories, where each person's just saying one word. We had the old one-word musings, where if there are 6 of you, you have a 6-word sentence, and they go, We played a Kimda, the acoustic improvisational dance music game, and it's all about having short loops and repeating. We played that a couple of times, and it was really fun and meditative. And then people went off, and I think that was, oh no, that wasn't the end of the game. There was lots of chatting. We explored, and then finally, when there were just 3 of us remaining, I played my game, which is a game about packing balloons as a team, but it's a cards game. There are no actual balloons. And maybe that title needs to be changed. Maybe it's a game about packing balloons as a team without speaking. Yeah, I think that tells you everything you need to know. It's a game about packing balloons as a team without speaking, but there are no actual balloons. It's a card game. There are no actual balloons. That's what it's going to be called. So this is the game that I would like to talk about, and that introduces the main topic. So and I will get into how I've playtested this, why I think that's the final numbers. I'm not playtesting. Admittedly, it is a busy bargain bag. I'm selling it for a £5, but at the same time, I am not going to playtest the final numbers. I think it makes more sense to do it on a spreadsheet. So let's talk about brilliant things. Brilliant things. What's a little thing which is brilliant? My brilliant thing for today is spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are just brilliant. I mean, look at this here. I could tweak one of these numbers, go 3, and then suddenly it does the maths for me. Do you see that? Do you see like let me make it bigger. Like the number on the bottom just changed. That's fantastic. That's so useful. Like not having to do maths. And if I want to say, okay, what's a bunch of numbers that adds up to 21? Okay, so maybe I does this add up to 21? I don't know. And we have some quick. That is only 13 apparently. So, and let's say that was a 1, and that was a 2, and that was a 3, and that was a 2, and that was okay. I want a 0 in there. So oh my gosh, I need so many 3s. Wow. Okay. So it allows me to just see things and to do maths more quickly, to tweak numbers, to see what will add up to a certain total. If my objective is I need things to add. So what I'm simulating here is I am imagining, let's say we had 3 decks of cards. Each player has 1 deck, and you're allowed to put in cards, and if it goes higher than 3, you lose. And you're trying to get the total to be 3 or close to 3. Like if it's 0, then that's clearly not great. Like someone should have put a card in that was 1, but you're not allowed to speak. So, this kind of thing can happen. And so if each deck had a total of 7 for the weight or for the spikiness, there's 2 values, but let's say for the sake of simplicity, each deck had a total value of 7, and that means that you could get through the decks with these numbers. Now, I look at that and I think, is this realistic? Is this achievable? Well, for 3 players, the ones with 6 feel like that still feels like a challenge. You've still got to have a lot of 3s. And sure, I had a couple of 0s, but that means that with a 0, you've still not lost the game. And so my question to my mind is whether the total numbers on all the decks, should the total number of the 10 cards in your deck, should that be a total of 7 or should it be a total of 6? Currently, the total is 8, but no one has ever won the game. I played 2 players about 4 times, 3 players about 3 times. Then I played on Saturday 2 players about 3 times, and I want to say 5 players about 4 times. So we had a lot of games and we've just never won it with a total of 8. It used to be a total of 10, but that was clearly terrible. And that was what I playtested on Friday. This is too much. Now, do I make it 6 or do I make it 7? And looking at these numbers for 3-player games, I'm leaning towards 6. So, like, we've already established that spreadsheet thing is brilliant. Let me just carry on. And so this would be 3 players and 7 points per deck. So what if there's 4 players? And with 4 players, you can have a total value of 4, and you need to get through 4 decks, so potentially 24. So let's see how that would look. Maybe you're really lucky here, and then you're really unlucky there, and then you're doing pretty well. You're getting really close to the thing. You do that one well. Oh, there's another 0. How good was that? That was 23. Even that was only 23, which again makes me think actually 6 is the correct number. So, I mean, I look at that and I feel like if that was the way it is, should they have won? Maybe. There is also the option. So on the cards, just to go back to my game, there's a number for weight and there's a number for spikiness. So this is how it was a few days ago. So pineapple, heavy weight, lots of spikiness, bubble wrap, no weight, negative spikiness. Tomatoes have some weight, no spikiness. Maybe it should even have negative spikiness. I don't know. Knitting needles, actual pins and needles, copy of Yogi, and some games that you might actually put in there. And so what would it look like if it was 7? Would that be, let's say that we had another thing and we're doing well, and maybe we get 1 and then we get some 4s, and how good was that? That was 24. I mean, that feels like a respectable amount. How good would you have had to make it to go up to 7? Well, you would have had to do the 3 and getting the 4 again, because it's not just one number. There are 2 numbers going on, which does add a bit of complication. And that is something that was useful for me to learn through playtesting. And I look at this, and for me, like having that many 4s where it's perfect, that shouldn't be like, yeah, perfection is expected. But if you've got 1 or 2 perfect, it should be like, yeah, we're probably going to do this. We can do this. And so, yeah, again, 6 feels better. So that was 4 players. Now, what if it's 5 players? With 5 players, you'd go up to 30, and you can go up to 5. So let's say you start off, you're not 2, that's not great. 3, oh, that's terrible. Can we bring it back? Oh, we've got to 5. And then, like, the 5s should be a cause of celebration. Yeah, we're probably going to win. 3 should be okay. That's not terrible. And this should be, I think, maybe just to win. Oh, interesting. 32. So, that makes me wonder whether it should actually be, should it be 6 or should it be 7? Again, if it was 7, then we would have had to increase these numbers by 3. So it would have to go maybe a 4 here. Oh, that's too hard. Nope. I mean, if you manage to win with starting off 1, 2, 0, but then you bring it back with 4, 5, 5, 3, 4, 3, 3, and you've got the other numbers on the other side, I still think that could maybe be a feeling of victory, like, yeah, we've managed to do it. So here's where, and I completely forgot to say, if you want to comment, ask questions from Like Follow, please do that. If you've got any comments about all this. So just to clarify, just to take a step back, why do I feel like this is better? Because fundamentally, I've played enough of this game that I know how it feels when you get all 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5 or 3 out of 3. I know that 3 out of 3 feels like an amazing victory. 2 out of 3 feels like, yeah, we did pretty well. We should be able to keep going. And if we just do, okay, let me copy that across for simplicity. If we go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, like that is an amazing success. And yeah, I guess one of them could have been a 0. And that feels like a justifiable victory. So that makes me feel like, yes, this is correct. And it's the maths that allows me to fine-tune things. If it were a tournament game, look, if it were a tournament game, if it were Magic the Gathering, if there were a lot of money on the line, I would then go back to playtesting at this point. I would do my half hour, however long it's going to take right now, work out all the numbers, then go back to playtesting. But again, let me contextualize this. This is not a hardcore tournament game. This is not even my game of the year. This is not even my top 3 games of the year. Like, I'm making a lot of games. This is a busy bargain bag. This is something where people play it for 5 minutes. This is meant to be a simple thing. The people who've enjoyed it, the reason that they enjoy it is because they enjoy the simplicity. They enjoy how easy it is to teach. They enjoy that it feels like a relaxed thing. They enjoy that it's similar and feels familiar, but still feels different. On Friday, there was the case of, I could go this way and add in the novelty with half of the cards flipped over, and maybe that would be an interesting game for something totally different. But the people who enjoyed the fact that, hey, maybe I could play this with a whole bunch of people, they actually gave that idea thumbs down. And people have been enjoying it, but people are enjoying it because of the simplicity, and they're not enjoying it as a, I want to spend hours and hours strategizing over this. It's like, yeah, we want to spend, half an hour or an hour with friends playing through this, and then afterwards bring it back out with a new group and learning the dynamic, learning how to communicate non-verbally, and there's a lovely thing there. So that's why, in that context, yes, you need to understand how people will react. But fundamentally, understanding the maths, understanding the expectation value, understanding the probabilities, this is more valuable than playtesting it 20 or even 100 times, because those 100 times might not be statistically relevant. So let me make this screen bigger, and let's go to sheet 1, where I am going to set out 2 sets of 10 numbers, both of which are going to add up to 6, I think. So we've got, this is the pineapple, I know. And then we will have the bubble wrap. Let's put that at 0, -3. Actually, I am going to, and if we've got tomatoes should be like maybe 1 and -1. That feels interesting. And then another little balloon is maybe 0 and -1, and a napkin is 0, -1. And Then we've got some games that can go inside. So Bezzy Bargain Bags, Yogi, a book, I don't know what else. We had the pins and needles and the knitting needles. Oh yeah, the hard ones. Yep, the pins and needles and the knitting needles, let's make them both. That will be 4 and that will be 2. There we go. And so let's put it like that and see how he gets on. Huh. So that was quite close to what I'm really wanting in terms of, so now I started off with the theme and now I'm changing it and then bringing it back to the theme. So bubble wrap, I think we want the bubble wrap, that just makes sense. Tomatoes, they're a bit squishy. A little balloon. A napkin. And maybe these things need to be a bit, maybe 7-6 is okay. I'm not sure. I mean, if we've got 1, 1, 1, 1, and 3, is that enough variety? That's also what I'm asking. So let's say this is Yogi, this is the L deck, and this is a Bezzy Bargain Bag, and this is knitting needles, and this is pins. I don't know why you would put pins inside a balloon, but hey, it takes all sorts. So at this point, I'm going to now look at the cards arrange. What I like about Google's Sheets is that you can just scroll things up and down, which is quite nice. So I'm arranging them by numbers to kind of get a feeling of if there's enough interesting variation in these numbers. I don't mind some duplication, but I want there to be some variation. Why is... No, that should be up to A10. Okay. So if we've got 3 for the pineapple, maybe we reduce that to, but then we put that to 2. That feels kind of interesting. So we've got a 0, -3, 0, like 2, 0, -1. So that's something that people can kind of rely on, that there's sometimes a negative. That feels fine. And then we've got the 4, which, and the 2. We've actually got 3 -1s. Is that too many? I don't think it is. So we've got 2 duplicates for the 1, 1, and 2 duplicates for the 0, -1. Is that okay? Yeah, I think that's fine. Would it be fine for me to make that into a 1, 1? That feels like a lot of duplicates 1, 1. That doesn't seem interesting, because you want enough variation that you have some idea of what's in the deck, but you want to also have, yeah. So let's say if it was 3, yeah, you can't even do that. How could I change these numbers? Could I make Yogi lighter, but some... So let's get rid of those words for a moment. Let's put them off to the side so they're not distracting us. Let's just focus on this bit. And again, this is part of the reason why this game I feel comfortable not even necessarily playtesting it at the final level, because I'm not changing effects. You don't choose the cards you play. You have to play all the cards. It's again, if it were a collectible cards game where you chose the cards, that would require much more testing. If it was a competitive game where the cards that you got were random, that would require more testing. But as it is a cooperative game, well, the difficulty level is going to be the same for everyone. Pardon me. Water. Such a good thing. So I'm trying to lower this down to a 6 potentially. So I'm happy with these spiky things, few spiky things. Let's go and arrange them by spikiness. They're currently arranged by weight, but let's arrange them by spikiness. So we've got these 3 go in here. And so -3, -1. That makes sense. Something that's got some weight, but also some softness. Some -1, 0, -1, 0, -1. And I think because you can't have negative weight, how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only 5 of them actually have weight. And that feels okay. I think that So we've, again, like the simplest thing would be to reduce one of these to a 0, but what does 0 even mean? And if I reduce this to 1, okay, what if I did a 1, 0? Because we've not got to 1, 0. And then that reduces that to 5. And then what if I reduce one of these? Maybe the pineapple becomes a 2, 2. Or a 2, 4. I need to increase something. And maybe the pins are a 0, 5. But if the pins are a 0, 5, then that means that let's say it's a 2-player or 3-player game. And again, this is theory crafting, like pondering through the ramifications. What do you need in your hand? You've only got access to half your cards. So if this was like that, then, well, you would need a -1 and a -1. Alternatively, if you had a -3, you could play one of these cards. And that's the thing that makes it tricky. And this is where I think I'm probably going to have to transcribe these onto cards and make sure that they work together okay. So we've got what are the tricky ones? If we have the 2, 3, then actually that's quite nice, because then someone can have you want to actually put down the 1, 1 rather than the 1, 0, because the 1, 0 would mean that you waste a bit of sharpness, whereas if you put down a 1, 1, taking it to 3, 4, someone else can take it to -1. And so, why is this changed? I think that is ready. That is ready for some solo testing. And once I've done some solo testing with that, if it works, then that will be the final thing of the game. So, does it work thematically? Bubble wrap. Yep, that works. Tomatoes. Sure. Let's just copy paste the whole thing. A little balloon and a napkin. The L deck, sure, it's maybe, yeah, Yogi is, and it should be maybe a couple of Bezzy bargain bags, times 3 or something. And Yogi and the L deck should probably swap, because the L deck is in a box, whereas Yogi has the rounded corners. And the knitting needles, who would put the knitting needles in there? Or a pineapple? That's just asking for trouble. And obviously the pins. Oh, what's going on? Why are you putting the pins in your balloon? Yeah. So that is my game, and it's a game about stuffing balloons as a team without talking. But it's a card game. There are no actual balloons. I'll probably put that game name up on Twitter or something and ask for comments. Other than that, let me start wrapping up. So, question of the day, a little quick question before we go on our way. So whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this after the fact, my question to you is when was the last time you blew up a balloon? Can you remember ever blowing up a balloon? My last time was on Saturday. I blew up 3 balloons, I want to say. One of them might have burst. It was a bit old. But yeah, I went to Cambridge, got the balloon machine, and was just testing the things to make sure that they're all working. That is my question to you. Do you like balloons? When was the last time that you blew up a balloon? Over to you. What are you up to? You can share a button if you want to. Is there something that you want to share? I promise you that I care. Whether it's fun and frivolous, super serious, whatever it is, feel free to share. I am personally going to try and get a bunch of arts done. I'm going to try and get some more creatures, some more of my hopefully cute comical creatures. I'm going to try and what else? I'm going to try and sort this out, buy some balloons. General preparation. Things I need to do. Oh, and I've got a meeting with someone tonight. So, recap and wrap up before we finish up. So basically, playtesting is awesome. Playtesting is necessary, but if your game allows you players to self-select which of different things they use, if it's asymmetrical in that sense, you need to do a lot more playtesting, whether it's a CCG, whether there's very varied powers, or indeed, it might just be the asymmetry of does first player match on to the last player. But when it really comes down to which of these strategies is going to give you the most victory points, that kind of thing, I still maintain is possibly better worked out on the spreadsheet. The thing that you want to learn when you're playtesting is this fun? Is this engaging? And that is the part that playtesting really should be all about. Is this balance? That's almost not as important, frankly. So, yeah, if this game turns out to be 50% win ratios or 30% win ratios or 20%, that doesn't really matter. What matters is that people feel good about it. People feel, should be slightly people feel like there's a challenge, and people are like, we're getting to the last level, we've almost managed to do it, and that sort of exciting thing. If you want to check me out, I am, of course, Stuff by Bez everywhere. You can check my future streams, stuffbybez.com/streams. Tomorrow I am talking to Chloe Masheter, just getting to know each other. Wednesday, chatting to Jess Medringham, just a quick catch up. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be in regards to the Herefordshire Board Gamers event. And then next week, I'll be chatting to Ray and Laurie before I recap stuff. So, yeah, I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching. Lots of love. And for now, share, spread the word. Thank you, everyone. And the only thing left to say is, of course, bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye.